Yo, what's up guys? It's your boy AniZ with What If Naruto Had the Six Eyes and Was Neglected Part 3. So let's get started. Start, Naruto heard as he along with his teammates Ino and Satsuki rushed into the forest. So what's the plan? Naruto heard Ino say when they got to an area they presumed to be safe. Luckily Naruto could see further than the typical human eye thanks to his six eyes, so he knew where an opponent team with the scroll he needed was. I'll take the scroll, both Satsuki and Naruto said at the same time. Go ahead, Naruto replied. There was no point in starting a fight in the middle of a survival exercise to him. Tell us why you think you should take it, Satsuki said. It's simple. My technique won't let anybody take it from us. And from the academy, you both know nobody has touched me, so handing me over the scroll is best, Naruto says. That's true, Ino said thoughtfully. Yeah, you should take it, Satsuki forced out, her Uchiha pride not accepting that there was someone better than her. As they made their way into the forest, Naruto saw a team far away thanks to his six eyes. Sasuke, Ino, there's a team above us and I can see that they have the earth scroll, so we should take it since we have the heaven scroll, Naruto says as the three got ready and the other two nodded. What's the plan? Ino asked. I'll teleport us there into the area. Naruto decided it was time to show a bit of his power, the power of his six eyes. Teleport, you mean the flying thunder? Satsuki was cut off with a glare. No, I developed my own, not some inconvenient teleporting to a beacon technique. No, mine is true teleportation. Anyways, once we get there, Ino, your job is to find out where the scroll is using your mind powers. Satsuki, you are to back her. Make sure she's protected, Naruto says, as they agreed. Okay, Ino said. Yeah, that's good, Satsuki said as she nodded. As they ran, Naruto saw a man fire wind attack at them. He got in front of the girls, using his infinity to block the attack. Satsuki and Ino trembled and shook like leaves in the wind before the sheer presence of a pale man who attacked them, standing before them from the sneak attack. His tongue left his mouth for a moment, extending towards inhumane length as he licked his lips in a weird fashion. I suppose the Sasuke burnt away my disguise. There's no point playing pretend anymore, the man mused himself as everybody recognized who it was. This was the infamous rogue ninja from the Leaf Village, Orochimaru. Well, this is rather disappointing, he said, speaking as he got no reaction from them. Or have you know, your brother put a much better fight than you, there Satsuki, Orochimaru said as the two Genins that were Naruto's teammates shook in fear before he quickly turned towards Naruto. Ah, Minato's little. Huh, you're the one who blocked my attack. And your eyes, I see they're different. The old saying is proving to be true, Orochimaru said, smirking as he recognized the boy. Flashback. That's the boy, the one who knows why the Lord Fourth keeps him around, said another civilian. Don't worry about him, he has no place here. Surely Minato-sama is bound to banish him sooner or later. Don't talk to him, was what the civilians were saying as the flashback ended. So that's the child, Minato's neglected son and the guy who holds the soul of the Kyuubi, Naruto Uzumaki, Orochimaru said with his tongue dangling and his golden eyes narrowed. His chakra is making my neck hairs stand on edge. What is this? The ninja thought, looking down to see his hands trembling and chuckling to himself as he looked back at the boy who stared at him coldly without a shred of fear. What chakra you have there, boy? Dare I say, it doesn't feel human at all, he said, his teammates' eyes darting slightly at the comment. I came for one prize, but why not take a good look at another? Orochimaru mused. Listen, Naruto says, turning to his teammates, whose eyes were still glued to the enemy. I'll fight him here myself, you don't stand a chance against him, Naruto says as Satsuki scoffed. There you go, Mr. Arrive and save the damsel in distress. I'm not going anywhere. This bastard said he hurt my brother. I've got nowhere to be until he's dead. To hell with this exam, Satsuki responded, keeping her own eyes glued to the pale ninja. Well, there's no way I'm running away without you two, so forget it, Ino added. Naruto's frown deepened for a moment. Listen, I said I'll fight him, didn't I? 3-on-1 or 1-on-1. This isn't a fight we're gonna win. He used the snake summons. Can't you tell who he is? Naruto says, "You know this contract only belonged to one person." Naruto spoke. "The legendary Sanin." "Orochimaru," Naruto says. Satsuki and Ino felt fair, even though they knew it was Orochimaru. As soon as his name was said, Orochimaru let out killing intent. "See, you're shaking," Naruto says. "You can't beat him, just leave," Naruto said. "And his chakra results, from what I see, he has all 5 nature transformations," Naruto added on. "Oh, you can see that I use all 5 elemental natures. You intrigue me, Naruto Uzumaki. Your eyes always were weird. I wonder if they are a dojutsu," Orochimaru said, catching Satsuki and Ino's attention. As Satsuki activated her Sharingan, while her eyes couldn't see chakra to the degree of a Byakugan, her Sharingan could see chakra, even if it was a small tiny bits of it. "Your eyes. Chakra's being channeled into them. He's right, isn't he? That's a dojutsu," Satsuki asked as Naruto sighed. Ino looked like she hit the jackpot. "I can tell Menma this, and he'll reward me," Ino thought. "Now not the time for that. Satsuki, Ino, get out of here," Naruto commanded. "A new dojutsu. Let's see what those beautiful eyes of yours can do, Naruto Uzumaki," Orochimaru said as he rushed at Naruto, only to be stopped. "Is this the power of your eyes?" he asked, thinking about how good a dojutsu that grants him passive space-time technique would be, making Satsuki and Ino's eyes widen. Could Naruto's powers be result of his dojutsu? Ino thought. Is that the technique that creates a barrier and ability of his dojutsu? Satsuki thought. "You're annoying me, Orochimaru. Because of you, stuff I didn't want to come out came out," Naruto yelled as his eyes now glowed a color. "His chakra, it's insane," Satsuki and Ino thought as chakra formed around Naruto. With Orochimaru before him, the Sanin stood still as he watched Naruto unleash his chakra, such volumes from simply his own chakra. He could only expect something like that from Kisame, and Naruto didn't have the Tail Beast power, and he was just a 12-year-old with this much chakra. This boy truly is a diamond. It's a shame I can't give him a gift like Sasuke. His chakra would surely overpower it, and I don't think I'll be able to get close enough to touch him. Orochimaru mused to himself. Nevertheless, he'll be mine. His body wielded at its full power will have no equal in this world. With him, even the combined forces of Minato and Akatsuki would be futile. They wouldn't be able to stop me. If I wanted something with his power, I'll simply be able to take it. The Tail Beasts themselves shall be rendered my puppets, and these eyes, something about them makes me shake, he analyzed as he began to chuckle. He grunted, reaching for a god of shinobi. I like the sound of that, Orochimaru thought to himself as Naruto clenched his hand together. Chakra technique application blue, he said as blue energy formed. What is he doing? Orochimaru asked, intrigued. Chakra technique reversal red, Naruto said as red energy formed too. I've never seen red or blue chakra techniques like this, Orochimaru said as he was curious and had all of his attention on Naruto, who was using these unheard of techniques. Naruto stretched out his hand as the two energies fused together. Hollow purple, Naruto yelled as the red and blue energy became purple, and he shot a blast at Orochimaru, who felt the skin of his body being destroyed. Orochimaru quickly jumped out of the skin and reverse summoned himself to Ryuchi Cave before the blast could swallow him whole. Did Naruto just beat Orochimaru? Satsuki and Ino thought as he stared in awe. Come on, let's go, Naruto says, kind of annoyed that he had to showcase his cards in front of Konoha Shinobi, but if he was going to go along with this plan, he would have to pass, especially since the one-tailed Jinchuriki was in the exam. Naruto, how much longer are you going to hide things from us? Satsuki asked, getting in front of him and letting out a burst of anger. What do you mean? Naruto asked. You know what I mean. Your strength, those techniques. I know your mother and father never trained you because Menma, Mito and Yayu don't have those techniques. So when are you going to tell us? And how can you never told us that you had the dojutsu? Don't you trust us? Satsuki demanded, getting a low gasp from Ino at the blonde accusation. Naruto's demeanor changed as it went to that of annoyed anger. Well, she challenged, Ino moving to stand between them to prevent any further physical violence. Guys, this is not the time or place, she attempted to reason, but the boy rose back to his feet. I've told you the truth, he uttered. Believe what you want. You didn't answer my question. the Uchiha retorted. Ino's eyes were dangling, darting between the two as the boy then spoke after a moment of silence. No, that's not the reason. And I don't trust anyone, Naruto says as wind blew, as the two teammates of his stood there shocked. Yeah, and he says we want to risk our life alongside someone who doesn't trust us, Satsuki challenged, while Ino looked with concern. That is your choice. If you want, I will ask Minato for a formal resignation after this exam. Naruto responded indifferently. But seeing as we have both scrolls now, we should be heading to the tower. Thanks to Orochimaru, I managed to get the second scroll. If you don't want to come with me or continue alongside me, I'll be understanding, and well, you could take one scroll, I'll take one scroll, and we could go look for another. Naruto added as there was silence. Well, he questioned as the Uchiha just gritted her teeth and stared him down. Team 12 continued to walk in silence as the entrance of their destination came into view. Ino glanced uneasily at her teammates. Not a word has been spoken since the male of the team had posed his questions. Suddenly, she inwardly thought to herself as Satsuki pushed the doors open, with Naruto following behind as she stepped through the door as well, to the tower in the middle of the forest. She couldn't remember things being this tense since the team was formed. She could only hope that her team wasn't too badly damaged by Naruto's remarks. Her train of thought was interrupted as she caught a broken message. Without heaven, guys, I think we need to open the scroll now, she says. As they did, a giant poof of smoke happened, and outside it, Uruka came out. Uruka-sensei, Ino greeted as the twin smiled back. Great to see you guys again, he replied happily. What are you doing here, sensei? I'm here to congratulate you on passing your second exam, he revealed. As he looked at the facial features, seeing Ino beam, Satsuki retain a similar frown to she always had, and Naruto still remained unexplainable to him. He was expressionless as always. On the second day, you three got here pretty early, Uruka said as the Kunichis both glanced at Naruto. They hadn't taken into account how far the clone had teleported them. Allow me to explain the significance of the second exam, Uruka says as he explained it. Time skip with Satsuki. Satsuki, Ino called out. Hey, why are you angry? I mean, I'm frustrated Naruto doesn't tell us anything either, but Ino's cut off. We've given him enough time to get over his past. We are his teammates, and if he doesn't trust us and we don't know his full capabilities, then he's a liability, and it hurts that he doesn't trust us. I know we made mistakes, but still, we're a team, Satsuki said. But still, he put his life on the line for us, Ino argued as Satsuki resumed her march in a huff. Look, Naruto clearly has trust issues. You know me, I want his information for, Menma. But suddenly she was interrupted. Fancy seeing you guys here. The two Kunichi turned to see Menma leaning against the wall. Oh, just leave us alone, Satsuki burst out, clearly upset as she walked away. What's up with her? Menma asked, concerned, as Ino inwardly sighed at this. Your brother is what's up with her, Ino replied before heading back to her teammate. His face shifted to a frown. Menma couldn't stand the thought of someone else interfering with his girl. With Naruto. Naruto walked down the corridors. Hey, Naruto heard suddenly as he turned to see the son of the man that was his father, or his ex-brother. What's your problem with Satsuki, loser? Because it's a problem with me now, Menma declared as Naruto couldn't help but mentally chuckle in his head. You bored again or something? Get lost, Naruto responded plainly, continuing with his walk as Menma gritted his teeth in anger at the dismissal. He darted towards the white-haired Uzumaki, his fist skirted back, intending to teach Naruto a well-deserved lesson in his opinion. Suddenly, the boy found himself unable to move as he was stopped in the middle of air, unblocked before he could even get near. He felt himself moving slowly, but he knew he would never ever reach the target, Naruto. What the heck is this technique? Why do you always use it? Are you a pussy? Tell me now, Menma demanded. But he was sent flying by a reversal red into the wall. He loudly grunted as his back met the ground. Jumping to his feet, he swung another fist, but they were all for nothing as they were just stopped in the middle of air, and Naruto punched Menma's stomach, knocking him out. A few minutes later, Menma gained conscience. Why does this always happen to me? Why does the untrained, unloved loser always beat me? Why is he stronger than me? Menma yelled. his eyes turning red for a split second. As Naruto looked at him, "Don't ever use Satsuki Uchiha as an excuse to chase your petty little dream of getting under my skin," Naruto uttered calmly, as Naruto grabbed him, pulling Menma into his face and then punched him straight in the stomach. Once again, as blood came out and he reeled backwards. What just happened was the only thought Menma had as Naruto walked away. Naruto laid on his bed. As he closed his eyes only saw black. As the black sign shifted to a darkened passageway, Naruto then found himself in front of a giant metal gate in the middle of a flower field. "Hello, Kurama. Why have you called me here?" Naruto asked. "Kid, I witnessed your little exchange from earlier with that shinobi Orochimaru. Had you called upon my power, you would have been able to destroy him," Kurama said. "I know, but I'd rather keep it a secret until we go ahead with our plans to correct Hashirama's mistakes and ensure no other child have to live the life of Naruto Uzumaki or Jinchuriki in general, a life where we are punished for keeping ungrateful, sick individuals safe by holding back sentient beasts of war, just so that it could be used for war. I will make the Kagis and humanity in general fear messing with a Jinchuriki or a Biju," Naruto says as Kurama smiled. "It's scary how quickly you can turn off your emotions and hide your true side, but I can't wait, Kit, to be reunited with my siblings and get revenge on the nations that enslaved us and used us as batteries of chakra," Kurama said, as Naruto felt the scene change and opened his eyes to find he was back in his quarters. "Soon, this world will pay for treating us Jinchurikis like animals and slaves," Naruto thought, his eyes glowing, as Naruto could only think of one thing, and that was the 10 tails that Kurama had. As Naruto smiled and remembered what it was. Flashback. Naruto was walking in the forest when he stumbled upon something. It was a tablet with, well, his eyes engraved on it. He knew it was his eyes because it possessed the specific pattern his eyes had, and it was called the Six Eyes. That was where Naruto learned his eyes' name, and when he looked at it, he was amazed. He was from a clan before chakra ever existed. There were people called sorcerers who fought cursed spirits, and these eyes were of the Gojo clan. The Six Eyes they were called. They gave many abilities Naruto learned, but he also learnt one thing: the world will always correct balance and toughen Naruto's enemies up to keep that balance, and even Naruto's allies. And that was when Naruto learnt that Kurama, the 9 tails, on his birth gained 1 extra tail, the 10 tails. That was why Naruto also had access to all the powers of the Rinne Sharingan and also 6 Path Senjutsu, but Naruto hid it. Flashback end. Naruto chuckled. "Soon, this world shall suffer for how him, his father figure Kurama, and the other Jinchurikis have treated them." With Menma. Menma slammed the wall of the room he was currently occupying. "That jerk. This whole time he hasn't been trying." As Menma raged out, he felt his eyes, his normally purple eyes, turned to that of crimson red with slits in them. Time skip battle arena. The next day. "This is the true purpose of the exams," Minato concluded, explaining. Uncle stood to his right as the remaining participants, save for one before him, and their respective Jonins senseis were present. Now with that out of the, he was suddenly interrupted as double doors slammed open and Naruto walked into the large room, raised platforms. "Now that you're all here, in light of the fact that there are more participants than we expected, we will be having a preliminary round of one-on-one battles. The winner of each battle will advance to the third and final round of the training exams. Matchups are selected at random, presenting the possibility of facing your teammates. From this moment on, your progression will be solely dependent on your own efforts," Minato said, as many of the eyes of the cadets darted towards the teammates. "Let's not waste any time. Let the second round training exams preliminary rounds begin." Time skip. Cough. There are 4 combatants left, meaning the next fight will automatically decide the one that follows, Hayate announced as he looked at the screen. The screen flashed and between them was the 4 remaining names: Gaara of the Desert, Rock Lee, Ino Yamanaka, and Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. Lee watched intently. Naruto remained nonchalant as Gaara retained a cold blank look. Ino looked nervously. The screen continued to flash and then it froze. Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze vs Rock Lee, Hayate called out as Naruto headed towards the stage unfazed. This genin would not be a threat to him. Fortune may exist after all. Precisely the battle I've been begging and waiting for. Me, the dead last of the year above you, vs you, the rookie of the year. Let's see if training and hard work beats natural selection and being a prodigy. Lee exclaimed as Naruto just nodded. Let's rock and roll. The time has finally come for you to show your youthful self, Guy explained as Lee puffed out his chest, stretching and getting ready into a taijutsu stance. Alrighty Lee, your moment has come. Save the very last for the last second, Guy said as the joiners peered down, sweat dropping. He placed his arm around the student's neck. Now Lee, that's the son of the Hokage. From what I heard, he hasn't been trained by his parents as his siblings have, and doesn't possess the Nine-Tails chakra, but the soul. But he's still a child of the 4th and the rookie of the year. He's a true self-made prodigy, so don't underestimate him. Go all out and show him the power of youth and why you will be the only one that will become Chunin, Guy explained. Yes, Guy Sensei, I will not fail you, Lee says. I know you won't, my boy, Guy responded as the two clutched onto each other and hugged as Naruto's sweat dropped at a sun sign background. Lee, Neji said silently. I already told you, didn't I? I saw a fight between the boy and Orochimaru. Luckily we were close by and, well, let's just say this boy is too strong, so don't forget to go all out, the Hyuga spoke, as Naruto's eyes glared at Neji. So that was the chakra signature he sensed, the insignificant one that was watching him and Guy battle. Don't worry Neji, I have no intention of doing so. I will beat him no matter what, Lee explained. Naruto Uzumaki, the pleasure is all mine. I've been hoping for this since I first saw you, the boy in green said, as Naruto just looked at him, dead in the eye. Team 7, except Yayoi, Kushina, Menma and Mito returned to the room just in time to see Lee standing across from Naruto, waiting for the fight to commence. Go Naruto, you got this sweetie, Kushina cheered, while Naruto just never even glanced in her direction, acting as if he never even knew her. As Menma frowned and Mito watched intently, clearly eager to see her brother finally in action. Minato sat in anticipation. Finally, he get to see Naruto fight in person to see if what Fugaku was telling him was the truth. Let's see, Fugaku, if what you told me isn't an exaggeration, Minato thought. Let the battle begin, Hayate ordered, as Lee sprinted towards Naruto, swinging a roundhouse kick that became stopped in midair, shocking everyone apart from Naruto's classmates. What's this? The shinobi outside of the rookies thought. Well, Team 10 also thought that as well. What are you doing? Lee asked. This is my ultimate defense. Not like the Hyuga, not like the Uchiha, but the true ultimate defense, Naruto says. Space-time ninjutsu, Minato says, catching Kushina and the others' attention. Naruto, I can feel it. He's bending space-time like the Hirshin, but instead of teleporting, he's infinitely expanding, making an infinite distance between himself and Lee's attack. Minato says, that's broken, was the collective thought of everybody present. Lee, it's time to take off your weights and show the power of use. Use that, Guy said, shocking Kakashi. Guy, are you sure? To use that on a genin will be an instant win, Kakashi said. The boy can take it, plus it's the only way Lee can fight him. Maybe then Lee will be faster enough. Then Naruto can increase his speed and then deal damage, Guy said. Yes, Sensei, Lee said as he dropped his weights and activated gates 1 to 6. He charged at Naruto, only to be stopped. What? Guy yelled, shocked at how fast Naruto was, that he could increase space faster than Lee could move it. The amount of chakra that took. It should have been impossible for a non-Jinchuriki. Even the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki shouldn't be able to do that. Impossible, that speed. Naruto's faster than Lee, Guy said, leaving Kushina stunned. Menma and Mito had their fists shaking. They knew they never had that kind of speed. Damn demon, how dare he be stronger than me? The hero that holds back the QB's power, Menma scowled. Impossible, how is he stronger than me? Mito said to herself. with Satsuki, Ino and Fugaku. Satsuki was amazed. She was pissed at Naruto but amazed at his power. Ino was torn between cheering and staying quiet. Naruto was a teammate but Menma hated Naruto, so cheering for him would publicly hurt her chances to be with him. Fugaku was impressed. With Gaara shook in anticipation. He couldn't wait to feed his mother the boy's blood. Back with the battle, Naruto appeared in front of Lee using teleportation and neck chopped him, making him fall. This match is over. The winner is Naruto Uzumaki via knockout, Hayate declared as people from outside of Lee cheered. Time skip. Naruto watched Ino being saved just barely of being crushed by Gaara, only to be saved by Minato. Minato stood before the advanced Genin, accompanied by Hayate, as he announced the matchups for the final round. So the finals are set and they have been decided. As he began to list out the names: Menma Uzumaki Namikaze vs Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, Gaara of the Sand vs Sasuke Uchiha, Mito Uzumaki vs Satsuki Uchiha, Kankuro of the Desert vs Shino Abarume, Shikamaru Nara vs Temari of the Desert, Neji Hyuga vs Sai. All the participants exchanged glances as tension was felt from the air of Naruto and Menma. Your finals will be held in a month's time. You're advised to use this time wisely for training. The preliminaries are now concluded, Naruto said as Naruto left the exam hall to go straight to the forest of death. He decided he would train where he always had, without informing anyone. While this was happening, Menma and Mito went to Minato with a Yayoi following, who was saddened, believing that she had failed the family. Hey dad, how are you going to train us? Mito said. Yeah, I can't wait to beat that loser. Your training is the best, Menma said, happy that you finally get a chance to prove himself in front of everyone and beat the living shit out of the loser, who had nothing but luck, and he wanted to show Satsuki how much he was better and deserved to be loved by her by defeating the loser demon who was troubling her. I can't train both of you, Menma Mito. The training exams require me to do lots of paperwork, Minato says as he looked down to see the both sides. Hey now, don't get quiet. I will join you sometimes, and when I can't, I've assigned you 2 of the best. Jiraiya will take you to Mount Miyoboku, Menma. Yayoi, you too. Even if you lost, you still need training. And Mito, you too. All 3 of you can go and train in Sage Mode. Actually, maybe Menma can be trained by Jiraiya, and Mito by Tsunade, and Yayoi by Anku. And then you 3 can sign the legendary contracts and we can create the loyal version of the Sanin. Minato suggested. Yes, the triplet said, with Yayoi slyly adding, what about Naruto? Which made Minato pause. Hey Yayoi, what about that loser? He's my opponent, plus he thinks he's all that running away because mom and dad never trained him. He's nothing, and we are prophesied children, Menma said. Yeah, brother's right. He wouldn't want to be trained by us anyways. I slowly started to accept the fact we can't fix what has been broken. I think it's time I give him what he wanted and then be free from the clan. I mean, he will still be loyal to Konoha. There's no way I'm going to give up an asset like that. But if he's angry and doesn't want to forgive us and doesn't want to be family then with us, then fine. Screw him. We are family. We don't need him. We don't need the selfish brat. Jiraiya Sensei has convinced me that he's nothing but self-obsessed. He can't see the world as a bigger place than him. Especially since he knows that we've been training you to complete the prophecy that would bring peace to the world and end all wars and bloodshed, Minato said as Menma nodded. Yeah, he's nothing but a disgrace. He has no patience. Mum always told us that Uzumakis would not abandon each other, and he left us and is never listening to mum and dad. Anyways, he should have stayed weak. Instead, he trained and showed us up. Plus, he's too dangerous. You know what he holds, right? Menma says as Mito nodded. Even if he's strong, he's just a nuisance. He's a weakling. I don't know where he got this power from, probably from making a deal with the QB. But he doesn't have the QB's power and he can't win against us. He'll be useless, Mito said. You might be right. But Yayoi was cut off. But nothing. We need to stand together, stand strong and save this world. Now dad, can you call them so we could get the contracts? Menma said as Minato nodded and gestured towards the armor to come to him. But I need you to bring Kushina, Tsunade and Jiraiya Anko here immediately, Minato says as they nodded. A few moments later, Minato saw the people he requested walking into the Hokage's office. So Minato, you want to recreate the Sanin by having our son and daughters, apart from Naruto, sign these contracts of the legendary summons, Kushina says, as she looked to her side, seeing Dryer nodding approval, looking at Menma. Tsunade looked at Mito and agreed, while Anko looked at Yayoi, intrigued. Yes, Naruto isn't part of the prophecy Sensei told us about, and he's strong enough. Let's be honest, Naruto had no patience and abandoned the family. There's no point in pushing to get the brat back. He's spoiled. Let him live his life. He will come begging back when Menma, Mito and Yayoi completes the prophecy. We need to focus on the prophecy, Minato says, as Kushina couldn't see any flaws. As an Uzumaki, being abandoned hurt her, and the fact that her oldest son did that and never had patience hurt even more. But if that's what Naruto wanted, then why not give it to him? Fine, let's see how he lives without us helping him, Kushina says. I approve. As Uzumaki clan heads, our kids can be trained by their desired senseis. Okay, then it's finalized. Dryer, you are to take Menma and turn him into a Toad Sage summoner. Tsunade, you are to take Mito and turn her into Slug Sage summoner. And Uncle, you are to take the first student, Yayoi, and turn her into a Snake Sage and a summoner, Minato says. And Uncle agreed. Good, dismiss. Meanwhile, with Naruto trained as he sensed sand coming from behind trying to attack him and bury him, but it couldn't get close. I have the true perfect defense. Isn't that right? Whoever you are. Is it Gaara? Is that your name? Naruto said. Why have you called me here? Gaara asked. Annoyed, he couldn't kill Naruto. Well, first let me ask, how has your life as a Jinchuriki been? Naruto asked, as Gaara's eyes narrowed. Bad, he said as he explained his backstory. I see, so he's similar to mine, but instead of my godfather drive the sun and tried to have me killed multiple times, not to protect the village or to make a perfect weapon, but to make sure I never interfered with some prophecy with my presence. Let me ask you something. If I had a plan that would put us on top, our brothers and sisters, the real Jinchurikis, in a position of power where we, yes, by Jinchurikis, deserve, tell me, what would you say? An era where Biju and their Jinchurikis rule the world. You see, we are the true gods. We host the powers of the strongest beasts in the universe, and the fact that we are disrespected and beaten and hated for being forced to become weapons to protect this village, and not just this village, but all the other villages. Not from the Bijus as we are led to believe, but from enemy nations, pisses me off. I will create a new world order where we, the Jinchurikis, rule over everything, notices as Gaara's eyes turned red. You think living a few years as a Jinchuriki is enough to make me believe that you know what it's like to be a Biju? Shukaku roared out. Yes, I do. I may have not been beaten like Gaara, but I know what it's like to be feared and hated for something out of my control, Naruto says as his eyes glowed blue, as Shukaku felt the sensation he felt before. It was October 10th, unknown to him. That was when Naruto was born, and that was when Shukaku grew a second tail. Nobody knew what it was that caused the Biju to do this. They didn't know it was the world correcting the balance, making sure all chakra-based beings were strong enough to match a 6-size user. Well, not all of them were. At least the strongest of them to be able to match a 6-size and limitless chakra user. A combination not seen since thousands of years ago. Fine, Shukaku said as he felt fear. Trust me, Shukaku. I will make sure that the cycle of Jinchurikis end. Not only so that another kid doesn't have to live a life of Naruto, Uzumaki, or Subaku no Gaara, but also because of Kurama and the Bijus. From what I've learned, you are all sentient beings and deserve freedom, Naruto says as Shukaku's eyes widened. He had flashbacks to his father, who told him that there would be a boy, his childhood prophecy, who would one day reunite the Jinchurikis, well, the Bijus, and form peace in his own way. What way it was, Hagoromo did not see. Flashback end. Shukaku made up his mind. Fist bump me, Naruto Uzumaki. Shukaku said as Naruto obliged, even undoing his infinity technique so Shukaku could touch him with his fist. Half of Shukaku's chakra entered Naruto. This is me trusting you. Don't make me regret it, Shukaku says. Cool, Naruto says. Time skip. Training exams. Day, 1 month later. Naruto smiled as he entered the arena. He had made a lot of progress with his plan and helped Chakra master SCM and Shukaku Chakra mode. But that's not it. That's not the only thing he learnt. He had learnt a technique that was quite powerful. Well, Naruto decided to keep that for himself now, as they had a plan. During Orochimaru's attack, both of them were to do as much damage to both of the villages' forces, the sand and the leaf, and then escape, crippling it so that they cannot come after them. Naruto made his way to his team where Satsuki, Fugaku and Ino were waiting. His heart did hurt when seeing them, knowing what he was about to do, but remembered how he was treated and shook that feeling away. They might be nice to him now, but that's only because they were his team and he had power. He knew if he never had power, he'd be treated like trash. Hey Naruto, are you ready? Don't worry if Menma can beat you. You can still pass if you show you're strong enough, Ino encouraged. Don't fall before you face me, Naruto. I'm going to beat the secrets out of you, Satsuki says. As Naruto nodded, making Satsuki mad, suddenly a yellow flash caught everyone's attention as they all turned, knowing who it was. Ladies and gentlemen of the D Village, and honoured guests, today is the day you have been waiting for. The final round of the tuning exams and an event that is hosted by each village to encourage peace through competition instead of war is about to begin. It was with great honour that I, Minato Namikaze, the fourth Hokage, declare the tuning exams started, Minato says as everyone cheers. Now, I will introduce you to the proctor of this round, the man in charge of everything and overseeing the event that you are all here for. So please everyone, make some noise for Gemma Shinawi, Minato says as Gemma stepped up and the cheers and shouts were heard. Gemma sighed, knowing this was a hard job. He had to make sure nobody was cheating, but each proctor had gotten death threats and have even been attacked for making decisions that were considered controversial. But this wasn't anything that was going to get in his mind. He was a ninja of the leaf and he won't let anyone's bias get in his way of fair judging. Can contestants Menma Uzumaki Namikaze and Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze please calm down, Gemma said as he said that. Cheers were heard from the audience when they heard Menma's name. Go Menma, show the power of the fourth family. Beat that demon disgrace of a brother you have. No, do one better, kill the demon, they yelled and started booing as soon as they heard Naruto's name. Kill the demon, die you demon. I hope our precious hero kills you, was what was heard. But Naruto ignored them. He stopped caring about what the Leaf Village thought of him long ago. It was just him now. Well, him and Gaara, and hopefully his Jinchuriki brothers and sisters. Ha 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 ha. Guess the crowd's on my side, demon. I'm gonna kill you for hurting mom and dad and acting spoiled. Nobody cares about you. You're a weakling, Menma says, his eyes turning red with slits in them. Naruto, with his enhanced vision, wasn't shocked when he saw Kushina, Minato and Mito being uncaring. He heard how they gave up on him and how they saw him as a nuisance, as a person acting out of their role for their precious family and prophecy, not trying to see behind of how he felt, so he did not give a shit about them anymore. Over the months, the hatred for him has increased and Naruto could see that, but he could care less. Everyone in his village hated him, so this was nothing new for him. So you're planning on killing me? With what power? You have lost to me time and time again. Even with the Jinchuriki's power, you were second best, Naruto taunted. Tell me, dear brother, are you ready to die? He yelled. When I become Hokage, I'll kill all the weaklings and enslave them. As the strongest, as the true child of prophecy, I will rule the world and there's nothing you can do to stop this, he yelled, shocking everyone. Memani, you can't be serious. He's our brother, Yayoi yelled out, but Menma sneered. He's nothing like that. He left our family thinking he was so better than us. He never fulfilled his role like Jiraiya Sensei said, which is to be our weak stepping stone. No, he dared to rebel against us. Even Mom, Dad, and Mito agree, Menma yelled as Yayoi turned to mention, who never even showed a sign of disagreement to her shock. Is this why Naruto left long ago? Could he have seen how evil our family is? Yayoi thought to herself. You see, Naruto, we don't care about you. Well, apart from Yayoi, but who cares? She will soon learn that you're nothing but trash, holding us back. The one with the power of the Kyuubi. You're just the loser. The reincarnation of the demon itself, yelled Menma as he rushed at Naruto with speeds unseeable to most. Only those with Jujitsu can see it. But to Naruto, it was like slow motion. Naruto stood there. Is that all? Naruto says, as the boy could not penetrate his defense, his infinity. All that talk, just for the same story. Damn you, damn you, damn you! You will not humiliate me like this again. Menma yelled as he pulled out kunai. Let's see how you could take this. If your attack is a space-time ninjutsu, I'll use my own. Menma yells as he pulled out a 3 prolonged kunai. Let's see if your shitty barrier can take this, Menma yelled as he threw it and teleported, expecting to be able to blow Naruto's head off with a Rasengan, only to see the kunai couldn't get through and Naruto still out. Let me tell you something, Menma, and all the leaf idiots watching. This isn't a simple barrier or a simple space-time ninjutsu technique. Here's something more. It's the power of my eyes. That's right, Namikaze. And you told the bastard. You wrote me off as less than worthless. But let me tell you, I have a special power, a dojutsu. I call it the 6 eyes. And one of the things it allows me to do is manipulate space, dividing the distance infinitely, creating infinite distance between me and your attacks, meaning no matter whatever you do, you can't cross infinite distance, which means your attack would never hurt me. Unless you can somehow teleport by manipulating the space I manipulate. You cannot get in. And I'm sorry, Minato, your little kunai needs to be near my face for the technique to work, but the infinity would never let it get near me. Naruto says, as he looked at Menma, I always hated you, Menma. You're nothing but a spoiled, disgusting boy. Now I will kill you, Naruto says, as he looked at the boy who once made his childhood even harder, lying on the floor, bleeding. As soon as he said that, as Naruto slammed him, grabbing his face and literally smashed his head on the wall over and over again. As Naruto heard boos from the crowd, but ignored them. Damn you, demon! Leave him alone! Boo! Boo! Was what he heard. Damn you, you demon! Menma yelled as everyone got scared as the red-haired boy, bloody beaten, got up and chuckled. But that chuckle wasn't just a normal chuckle. His chuckle turned into full-blown laughter. He looked insane. You fool! You can't beat me! This is my destiny! I am the child of prophecy. It's no wonder mom and dad hate you. You are weak, stupid, useless. Naruto once again felt bored hearing this. He was recognizing some of the things that Menma was saying. He was trying to mentally hurt Naruto by repeating what the villagers would say. As Naruto turned towards Menma, he couldn't help but ask what he wanted. I've always wondered why you held so much hatred for me. You knew that I'd never done anything to you. Naruto says, you want to know why? Menma roared out, his wounds being closed up by the Kyuubi's chakra. I thought it would have been obvious. The Lord Third sealed the Kyuubi's power into Mito, Yayoi, and me. But you, Naruto, have the soul. You're the demon itself. Our parents obviously saw more worth in us than in you and cast you aside like the worthless trash you are. Jiraiya obviously saw the same, as he told our parents to completely disregard you and focus on us, Menma says. As he said this, Jiraiya nodded as Minato and Kushina's face hardened. It was Naruto's role to take abuse and the hatred so that his siblings could be the heroes and he could be the world's punching bag. Who cares if he had some dojutsu? It's not even one of the great three. The eyes, from what they thought, were just coward's eyes, making barriers that keep people away. For that reason, they thought you were a completely waste of time and space. Even as a child, so I came up with the conclusion that if I were to ever become weak as you and the others in this pathetic village, that I will be cast aside like you. I won't have that Menma rule. So to make amends, I will become stronger than them all and kill all the weaklings. And when I become the leader, I will rule the strong and I can never be cast aside, Menma says. In the stands, Konoha Shinobi, apart from Satsuki, Fugaku, and most of the cheers, and surprisingly Yayoi, started to agree with what Menma says and roared in cheers. In the Kage booth, both Jiraiya and Minato agreed. Naruto had a role he never fulfilled and even almost made Minato and Kushina break their roles in the prophecy and their family. He was a liability. They supported Menma. Orochimaru in the meantime had his mind going haywire from what he heard. A dojutsu that could control space and time, and its user had hatred towards the main family of the Leaf, who saw said user as a disgrace. Maybe he could obtain it as well. Well, Minato's back. You have given me quite the information to be able to get your brother and his body, Orochimaru said silently, chuckling to himself. In the guest stands, most of the people were disgusted and scared after hearing what Menma said. They could see clearly who the true demon was and who, if there was a child of prophecy, was, and to them it was clear. Menma was the demon and Naruto was the child of prophecy. Back in the arena, Menma made beasts throughout heaven and earth. I alone am the honored one, Naruto says as his eyes shone. Red and blue chakra formed. Let's see how your technique fares against mine. Hollow purple, Naruto yelled as he sensed purple imaginary space at the beast, the one that Menma created during the movie Road to Ninja, erasing them all from existence. A bit of it touched Menma's arm, erasing it from existence as well. Menma would forever be one-armed because of it. Naruto then appeared in front of Menma. He took some moments to think about himself and what he should do, but Naruto decided against killing him. After all, Menma would have to live in a world where he was king. That would be better punishment than whatever killing him would bring. As he then flicked Menma and knocked him out. "You're not worth killing. You haven't suffered like we Jinchuriki have," Naruto silently said as he walked away when Gemma declared him the victor. Time skip. Naruto looked at Gaara, who was bleeding, and nodded. My blood, Gaara yelled as he pretended to be safe when he saw Naruto's signal. As then a golden Shukaku avatar suddenly erupted. Kushina and Tsunade appeared in front of Gaara. Minato and Jiraiya wanted to too, but then suddenly they heard bombs and explosions next to them as Orochimaru revealed himself. My, where do you think you're going? This is the perfect distraction. Now then, Minato, I will kill you, and then I'll take Sasuke and Satsuki for myself and have their bodies, Orochimaru said. And then another explosion was heard. Tsunade and Kushina looked at it to see snakes and sound and sand shinobi approaching them, killing any Konoha citizens or shinobi they see in sight. What's going on? Kushina yelled. Are you attacking us? Tsunade yelled as then suddenly Naruto appeared in front of Gaara. They are, but me and Gaara aren't with them. We are going to cripple both the sand and leaf and escape so we can plan our revenge against you Jinchuriki abusing bastards. We will be playing the sick roles you gave us from now on, Naruto says, as Gaara then said yeah and agreed. Damn you, Naruto. I don't know why I felt sorry for you. You are always going to be a traitor, just like Jiraiya said. You will always hurt the world. You have the demon soul. I know chakra. You are the demon, Kushina says, as Naruto feels a bit hurt hearing this, but his face suddenly hardens. I'm done with you and Konoha's ideals, Naruto says. Domain expansion, infinite void, Naruto says. Time skip. A few seconds later, 50% of all Leaf and Sand Shinobi lay there dead. Konoha was crippled as Naruto's infinite void ended. Its food reserves, water reserves, weapons factories, energy facilities, and more were destroyed. Unknown to them, the lakes and land were poisoned to produce food and water. This all happened in a blink of few seconds because Naruto, he froze them. Not really froze them, but he overloaded their mind, making them unable to comprehend what was happening, making them frozen, and then went on a killing rampage, killing everyone. As Naruto made Gaara immune to it, he never made it affect him, and Gaara helped him. As then, now, they were standing in front of Tsunade and Kushina, who was looking around. What is this? How is this? What is this technique you did? This is Genjutsu, kai. They shouted, but it never dispelled. This is reality, Naruto says. And then he looked at Shukaku and nods. Rijudama, Shukaku, aka and Gaara yelled as a boom was heard, and suddenly Konoha civilian shelters blew up. As Naruto then smiled at Kushina and Tsunade. I'll be waiting for you to try and take revenge. This is the anger of the Jinchuriki, my anger, and it's not yet quelled. I'll let you tell Minato that the only reason Konoha still stands is because I want him to suffer like I did. The way he made me suffer, just for those fucking stupid siblings of mine. I hope that they die. I'll destroy them. I will personally remove the chakra from them and return it to Kurama myself, you little bitch, Naruto says as he grabbed Kushina and punched her over again. As then he grabbed Tsunade. Jiraiya loves you. I know the perfect way to hurt him, just like how you ruined my life. As Naruto ripped out Tsunade's spine and started beating Kushina with it. As then Tsunade, still living with 100 healing marks, tried to stop it, but then Naruto just punched the head off clean. The 100 healing marks couldn't heal it, just like how Naruto knew that the 6 size reverse chakra technique, which was what and how the 100 healing mark worked, just in a weaker and shitter scale, and therefore knew the weakness. As then Naruto just teleported away with Gaara. Soon, we Jinchuriki shall have our revenge, Naruto says. But guys, that's all for this part. Peace.